All right, guys. So yeah, Festival of Speed is always insane. You got everything from race cars to cool road cars to off-roaders doing cool stuff like this, jumping. As you can see, I love things like high-speed videography, and I use one camera called the RX10, which we can shoot up to 1,000 frames a second. Sony A1, which I was using here, can shoot up to 240 frames a second. So we've got quite a cool ability to do some cool stuff nowadays. Loads of stuff going on all day. It was fantastic, and basically I just didn't know where to look. Hi guys, so I met Graham today, who's another photographer.
Hi.
And you are helping out Strongmen.
Yeah, Strongmen, it's a male bereavement charity. It was set up a few years ago by some contestants from the SAS Who Dares Wins, and we support men. It's not woo-woo, we go out on adventure weekends, and you know, it's all about blokes sharing their sort of, you know, their grief and their bereavement, but amongst other guys, because you know, us blokes, we're rubbish at talking.
Yeah, we don't talk about it at all.
So we've got a little stand at the Goodwood Festival of Speed today, and yeah, just come in and meet some of the other guys.
So hello, so Strongmen up there. Hello there.
Hello there. Hi.
I'm Stuart. Obviously, you know Graham.
This is Nick. Yeah, so we've both been as beneficiaries of the charity, and you know, we've both been involved since 2019. 2019 we went on this first weekend, and you know, we just sort of like it's like created a community. We're good friends, we can talk to people. If we're feeling a bit down, we can pick up the phone, or we can go on a WhatsApp group.
It's connection, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about supporting each other, and I think that coming to the Festival of Speed is a bit of an experiment for us, but it's I think being a male orientated charity, it seems like motorsport being a very male orientated.
Absolutely, yeah. Plenty of boys here today.
It's definitely sort of worth, you know, trying it out and experimenting and seeing how much you know, exposure we can get. You know, we're not about forcing people to give us money. We're about
helping people.
How about helping people and building the community?
Brochure.
Go for it. I'll take one home. I'll have a read, and I'll
cheers.
Put it on the old site as well.
It's all in there. It talks about our man, so we do peer support as well. So we have a telephone service, free telephone service for guys that are struggling, which we set up in the pandemic. Obviously because we didn't do the face-to-face thing. So we set that up, and that goes very. But there's a massive waiting list for that at the moment. And then there's stuff in there about our weekenders that we take, where we take the guys up Snowdon, and everything else. It's all in there for you.
Fabulous. So I shall have a read when I go home. So. There's our website there, email, free phone. So guys, I'll put it in the description anyway, but there is the information. Have a quick read, and if you have got any issues or anything like that, you can always give them a call or an email, I guess.
Get in touch.
Get in touch one way or the other. Absolutely. Or if you know someone who, you know, a friend or family member who you're worried about or whatever, you can always contact them as well. So no, very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a lovely meeting, everyone.
Cheers. Nice to meet you, mate.
Yeah,
you too.
And, it's always good to meet other fellow photographers and obviously other people doing amazing things. So that's I'm going to go find some other cars, I think. Have a look around.
Cheers. Thanks again.
Thank you.
So after meeting up with Graham and having a chat there, I then had a wander around all over the place, and the BMW stand was pretty cool, and they had this concept motorbike there, which was kind of nuts. I mean, you wouldn't want to ride it very far, but as a concept it looked rather cool. And you know, it's one of those things where, you know, they make these things and it gives people inspiration and ideas towards other things. Obviously it's good for publicity and everything as well, but yeah, what a kind of cool thing at the same time as I don't think I'd ever want to ride it, but yeah, it was kind of awesome. So yeah, very noisy. I'm guessing two-stroke Suzuki race bike, but shot here at the moment at 500 frames per second, so you can actually see the smoke and everything sort of bubbling away out the back of the bike there, and basically everyone holding their ears and things. It was just absolutely crazy. One of the coolest cars I've ever known about was the Porsche 959, and I did have a poster as a kid on my wall, and it might have even been that car. But yeah, never seen one before in my life in real, and it was interesting to take a look at that and compared to a modern version like 911 or whatever. But yeah, how that thing has aged is rather well, and very interesting to see it. That was all, and it was out on the track later on, which I did get a couple of cool shots of it. But yeah, as Porsches go, that was one of my favourite ones. The crazy thing about Goodwood and the Goodwood Festival of Speed and Revival is there's cars about being moved around in between the crowds and everything like that, and also you've got parked cars all over the place, like these sort of the supercar-y car park. There's a P1, there's a few famous YouTubers and other people's supercars parked up there as well, which you'll see in a minute. But yeah, really interesting to get close to some of these design pieces. At the end of the day, they are supercars for a reason. Yeah, you can get cars that are as quick as them nowadays, but actually there's design pieces and exotic materials and stuff like that. They, are crazy. And sound nice generally. Have definite character about them. Some are leery, some are just absolute nut machines. Some are just graceful, sort of stunning art pieces. Things like the old E-Type Jag. The 918 there, but it's but a fantastic. If you love cars or love that sort of motorsport side of things, because you've got everything from, like I say, motorsport, supercars to race cars, motorbikes, even the Red Arrows and all the other stuff going on. It's a well worth visit. Goodwood Festival of Speed, I generally go not every year, just because it can be a little bit samey, especially with the modern electric cars and stuff like that. It's not as interesting as it used to be, I don't think. And where things don't really move on year to year, it's more, something new really comes out every 5 years kind of thing. So I've been up to once every 10 years sometimes. But it's really good. Definitely worth a trip out there if you love this sort of stuff. And you see loads of stuff. You see famous people, you see just everyone with the same interest, which is really, really cool. So anyway, let's carry on wandering. So when you see this whole Porsche being moved around, which is a stunning little thing, you suddenly realise how things have changed over the years. One, size-wise, little cars like that are, very few and far between nowadays, compared to the modern race car, which is what you're about to see in a second. Which they are driving that car, which was probably, I'm guessing, 50s, 60s, something like that, or even earlier. I'm not sure. Compared to the modern race car, which is being pushed by one man. And interesting one, eh? But hey ho. Like I said, you can wander around all of the paddocks, you can wander around all of the places, talk to people, and obviously get a blow by the man with the garden vac that needs to obviously keep that Porsche cool. But yeah, so many cool things to see. It's just massive, and ideally you do need 2 to 3 to 4 days there to really take it all in. So I'm not really sure about the painting man. He was there doing some stuff, but I didn't really clock why he was there. Motorsport wise, I didn't really see. But anyway, Ferraris and stuff everywhere, which is just cool. Some to do with other companies and brands and stuff they sell compared to the actual car companies themselves. And you just get to see loads of things that it actually might give you a bit of inspiration, like a boat salesperson, which is there. Obviously, there's plenty of money here. You're looking at a lot of normal people, but obviously people who've got plenty of deep pockets as well. So some people there are spending lots of money, and it's quite cool to see some of the stuff that you never really see on the road. Anyway, So me wandering around all over the place. I was trying to find Gasoline Alley. So Gasoline Alley Speed Shop that I do some work for were here as well. So as I said, I do quite a bit of work for Gasoline Alley Speed Shop. They are a custom motorcycle company. They make special frames, for your sizes, and they have a range of themselves, but they will do complete custom work as well, which is actually awesome. They've also got some cool old classic bikes for sale as well. So check out their website and everything. And you can have a look if you're interested in a bikes thing. But yeah, I'm doing quite a bit of work with them. We've done some road tests. We've done loads of cool videos and photo shoots and things like that. And it's always fun. And I'm a petrol head. They're petrol heads. We all get on, and it's a fantastic company. So obviously privately owned, a small British company. So always worth supporting our local stuff. So yeah, have a look. So where Gasoline Alley's stall was, or whatever you want to call it, we had right opposite to the other side, if you actually see it, is Electric Classic Cars Limited, which they have a YouTube channel. Go and check them out. They convert everything from a Testarossa to other vehicles, all into sort of electric Tesla powered stuff. Absolutely nuts. So go and check out their YouTube channel. I'll put the links in descriptions anyway. But yeah, really, really cool company. So, bit of 500 frames per second again, slow motion. Always quite cool when you see a Subaru come through the forest stage and just chuck stones and stones, stuff, and dust everywhere, especially through the sun rays. So that was pretty awesome to watch. The rally stage is quite a cool thing to get up there and go and experience. There's a couple of spots like this one, which are on the sort of hairpin bend. They come down and do spins and power slides and things like that. And if you can video it in slow motion, it always looks a bit more graceful and a bit cooler as well. But you get the big pops and bangs from the anti-lag and stuff like that. And then you've got the sort of showground, I suppose, where you've got the motocross bikes and freestyle riders, whatever, and also BMXers, mountain bikers, jumpers, whatever. And you've got trials and everything as well. There's loads of different types of guys doing stuff there, so they're quite cool to watch. Basically, just doing jumps and things like that, and pretty high as well. I was quite impressed on how quick the bikes were in a short period of time. So they're getting massive air in a very, very short run up. So that was quite cool to see. And it's a company obviously called Gas, which is Goodwood Action Sports. Then they fire these fireworks up, which are, I'm guessing, like a chalk. I don't know, but we kept hearing bangs and pops. Couldn't really see much because the sun was out. But I've shot this at 240 frames a second with the A1 in manual exposure. So basically, I underexposed a little bit so you could actually see the colours and stuff in the sky. And it was quite cool, but you couldn't really see where they were going up because they don't do anything until they explode. So yeah, it was quite interesting to manage to capture them, but at the same time, it was sort of weird. And as the guy said on the speakers, he said you'll only go to Goodwood and hear fireworks going off in the daytime in the sunshine that we can't see. So yeah, so I managed to film them in slow motion. As you can see, I'll sped it back up. But yeah, it It was interesting to see, but like you say, with your eyes, it was a little bit difficult to see because it was so bright. But anyway, it was still part of the action, I suppose. But yeah, anyway, on to some other stuff.
Oh, but don't say that, but we will forgive him. Wow, he went very, very deep right there. Yeah, the narrative right there.
So here we go. Here's a bit of the old slow-mo, and a guy doing a huge jump there, and using all of the suspension travel and his tyres, I believe, which was quite cool to see. When if you actually see one of the photos, I'll put it up in a bit, you'll see that his tyres are almost down to the rims. The suspension's at full travel, so they're landing relatively hard. But quite cool to see in a little bit of slow motion there, 8 times slower than real time. So they're up and down very, very quickly. But if we can film it with autofocus on the A1, there you go, we can see the landing and everything like that, and suspension working, tyres bouncing, and all the fun stuff happening there. So that was kind of cool to watch, and kind of cool to experiment with actually, because even though I've had the A1 quite a while, in motorsport and stuff like that, I haven't really done much of. So that was good fun to be able to see. We've got another one up there. Oh, missed him, I think. Oh, there he is. So it just shows you how fast they're moving and how hard I was struggling to actually get on him. And I shoot with both eyes open, so my left eye can always see where the target is. So in theory, I should be able to track them a little bit easier. Doesn't always work though. And then onto the BMXers, I think it was, or mountain bikers doing flips and tricks and things like that on the ramps there, if he comes. There he is in the distance. But yeah, really, really cool to be able to have this function. A lot of cameras obviously can do a little bit of slow motion. Obviously the A1 can do 4K 120. The A6700, the new one, which I've now got, can do 4K 120. And both cameras, the A1 and the A6700, can do 240 frames per second HD, which is what I'm shooting in now. Really, really cool. I love slow motion. I think it's so good because it shows you things that you can't really physically take in with your naked eye in real speed. So being able to slow things down, it's just so cool. And if you've ever seen the slow-mo guys, if not, look them up on YouTube, and you'll be able to see some of the stuff they do is just incredible, and it really makes me want one of their cameras, but I could never really afford a Phantom or whatever they use nowadays. It's mega money, but they've done really well for themselves, and slow motion is just awesome. So yeah, really, really cool. But these guys were doing this for quite a while. They were doing backflips and things like that, but it's so difficult to run. Obviously I've got autofocus, but it's trying to stay focused on that bank, so I've got something to hit the bike very quickly. Otherwise, I'm going to be focused on those trees in the distance and never get the bike in focus. But that's quite cool. Then the red arrows turned up, which was cool to watch, and they do their thing. But because there's so many trees and buildings and stuff like that, it's quite hard to actually find them. So as you can see there, I kind of missed them most of the time. And then I stumbled across this thing. This is from a company called Muddy Machines, and I had a good chat to the guy. And this is a machine that can basically harvest your crops. So asparagus, for example. So yeah, it can do stuff like this. Apparently the battery would last 16 hours, I think it was. And it will just carry on working, and it can do whatever work's needed in different cuttings and things like that, and different things. It's got cameras in there, sensors and all that sort of stuff, and it was quite interesting. I thought it was something like a Mars robot machine or something. Supercars everywhere, like I say, you just get to see them, and some of the hypercars and special things that are one-offs or on show. Right guys, so Goodwood Festival Speed, pretty successful here with Gasoline Alley Speed Shop, and got some cool video footage and everything, but it's very difficult. Nice old Supra. Very difficult to be in the same, many places at once. So yeah, good day. Right guys, anyway, jingle jingle says my keys. We are driving across a field at the moment, which is very firm. Not a bad day out at all actually. Saw Andy and the guys at Gasoline Alley, hence the cap. I stole one. I was walking around wearing it, so kind of advertising. So after plodding across fields for 25 minutes or so, I finally got out onto the road and eventually out of the traffic light system they have. Turns out we were on the last car park, which was good because it means you had less distance to travel back out onto the main roads. Because if you're in car park number 1, 2 or 3 or whatever, you're going to be in traffic for a long time. Yeah, once I got to Arundel, this is what happened. Big traffic jam. But anyway, onto the photos. Here are a mixture of shots with the A1 or the RX10. These are the A1, those last two shots. With the 135G Master, wide open f1.8, shooting at something like 1/20,000th of a second. Love that camera. It's actually so good for picking up fast moving stuff. As you can see there, the tyres almost touching, the rims almost touching the ground through the tyres. Suspension at full compression from a big jump. And yeah, so upside down BMXer, which was kind of cool. It was a really good day, and you know, it was nice to meet lots of different people. There's the 959 I was talking about. Nice to see lots of different people and meet a few new people as well, like Graham, and it was Nick and a few other people as well, which is cool. To see Gasoline Alley guys down there working well, and the electric classic cars company. But here's a few of the pictures. I haven't actually posted that many because you'd be here all day, but I just thought I'd put some of my sort of favourite ones in that I thought would work quite nicely. And you know, I used the i360 camera as well. It was just a really nice day. Different scenery does you good anyway, doesn't it? If you can go to places like this for a day out or whatever. That's the new, was it Hyundai? It's a bit like the DeLorean stroke something else. Kind of cool car really, as a concept car. Motorbikes, so tried a bit of panning and slowed the shutter speed down to like 1/80th of a second, sort of f13-ish, ISO 100, just to get a bit of motion blur with a couple of motorbikes, which worked okay actually. Wasn't brilliant, and I could have done with an ND filter on. These are shot with the RX10, by the way. This is shot with the RX10 as well because you've got that big range, so I could shoot miles away and through the trees and up onto that old BMW, which was cool. This is the motorbike I was talking about. It's quite a thing to take in when you're stood there, and you just want to touch it, but you're not allowed to. But yeah, the sort of textures and stuff on the materials used were kind of cool. Porsche rally car, kind of cool. So it was 75 years of Porsche, I think, which was a massive celebration for them. The old Subaru rally car tanking through. So it's quite a cool area of viewing there. So you got the twist and everything. This is edited. I wasn't there at night time, but I thought it'd be quite cool because you obviously got the cars hanging off the big monument thing outside the house. So I thought I'd add a bit of editing into that. This is real. So this is from the RX10. I was only shooting JPEGs because I wasn't sure how much memory I was going to use. So I shot JPEGs. I kind of wish I'd shot RAW because I would have had a lot more control over it. But that was kind of cool. The red arrow coming past the cameraman up on his crane. And that was kind of cool. So yeah, a lot of the shots like this were shot with the RX10. Someone's going to say, why is one plane blurred than the others? Because I'm panning with one plane and the other plane came past the other way. So you're sort of going against the grain as such. The old Rockbox Lamborghini, which is always cool to see. And you know, it just looks out of place, but it looks right at the same time. The McMurty stupidly fast electric fan car. That's something to behold to see. I didn't actually see it go. I heard it. But this is the trouble. There's lots to see, and you can't be in all the same places at once. 2 helicopters in the background while the bikes were flipping upside down and doing jumps, and that was kind of weird. But yeah, it's definitely real photos. And I generally don't really edit that much. I do a little bit of processing, and I try and keep them as realistic as possible. You know, with no. Not too much editing. Gasoline Alley's stand, I thought I'd put that in there for you, so if you want to have a look at them. go for it if you're interested in motorbikes, especially custom ones, and a few off-roady shots as well. These are mad, these things. They were so quick up off the road and jumping and and stuff. The sound they were producing was cool. Nice Aston there in the car park. And the last shot before I finish the video is this one. The tractor, the old Porsche tractor towing a so-called broken down Porsche. I don't think it was broken, it was just as a showpiece kind of thing, but it was kind of cool. I'm glad I was sort of stood in the right position to get the photo, and basically just towed it up the track and then put it away. So it may have broken down, but they used one of the original Porsche tractors. It seems to me that Porsche, Lamborghini and Ferrari made tractors. Yeah, so anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. I think it's a nice little selection of shots and video clips there. Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to click the subscribe button, little notification bell as well, and I shall see you soon.